Hi, I'm Mark. This is Mark's Tech Blogs on YouTube, and today I'm going to bring you a review of the new Aqara Camera Hub G350. Now, this was released a few weeks ago by Aqara, but Aqara were kind enough to send me one just over a month ago, so I have been using it for that amount of time. That does also mean I haven't paid for this product, but this isn't a sponsored video or a paid video. You're going to get an honest opinion, as you always get with my reviews. Aqara have no idea what I'm going to say until this video goes live, if they even bother to watch it. And this is the successor to their previous G3 camera hub, which I have previously reviewed, and it is a great camera. The new G350, however, does have a variety of improvements and changes. However, to look at, they do look largely the same, just with a few subtle differences. The first difference you'll notice if you look at it is that there's a new gold ring around the cameras, and there is in fact a second camera. The second difference you'll notice if you pick one up and you already got the G3 is that the new one is noticeably heavier. The other thing to note comes around price, because both of these cameras are still on sale. The new one, however, is at £140, which does make it a more expensive smart camera, although as I'll get onto in this review, it is packed with features. If you just want the G3, that's currently on sale for £85, and I'll link that and my review of it below as well. But let's get properly into the review and talk about design. So this camera has a base which can rotate up to 360 degrees. That base has a mounting screw if you want to ceiling mount it or wall mount it or mount it however you want, but it can also be freestanding. Moving up the camera, it has a rounded top, and it does come with this set of silicone ears, which I'm not a big fan of, so I do tend to remove them, and in all honesty, I don't really get the point of them, but they're sort of cute. The front also has a button on it, which has a ring light around it. Those front lenses can be moved to go into a privacy mode if you don't want the camera to be filming, and if you move them in the other direction, you'll find the micro SD card slot. On the back at the bottom, you'll find a USB-C port, and this camera does just come with a USB-C to USB-C cable. Mine just goes into a standard USB-C plug, the sort of thing you use with a phone, and it works fine. The design, as per the predecessor, was a nice modern design, and Aqara didn't really need to change it, and they haven't. But let's get on to the spec of this camera. So firstly, camera quality has had a bump, and it's gone from 2K to 4K video. If you use it in Apple Home, all you'll get in Apple Home is 1080p video. This isn't Aqara's fault, this is still a limitation of Apple Home, and something I really hope Apple are going to change in the near future. That camera also now has a second lens. That is a 2.5K telephoto lens. This allows this camera to zoom in up to 9x using a hybrid zoom. It also has infrared lighting in, so you can get a nice black and white night mode that's still pretty clear. This second lens allows for things like panoramic views as well. Now, what's really useful is that the pan tilt functionality means that this camera can cover 360 degrees. Its motion detection also means it can recognize people or animals going around a room, and it can track them. If you just want to manually control its position, you can do that in the Aqara app, where you can also set preset positions. It also has a microphone and speaker built in for two-way audio, and this does also get exposed to Apple Home. This is a nice feature to have, I guess, for some use cases, and it does work, but it's not really a feature I ever use on cameras. The headline here from Aqara though is that this is the first ever camera to support Matter. And that's because with Matter 1.5 we got camera support. However, this isn't something I've been able to test, because none of the ecosystems that you can add a Matter camera into that I use, so Apple Home and Home Assistant, actually support cameras yet. However, this Matter support does mean that it can also double as a Matter controller and bridge. Alongside that, it can also work as a hub for Aqara Zigbee devices as well. This is great for extending your Aqara Matter network across your house. Alongside being Matter compatible, it does also work with Apple Home, Google Home, Alexa, SmartThings, and a few more other devices. What that basically means for Apple users is it does support HomeKit Secure video. So even though we haven't got Matter support in Apple Home yet, you can still get this camera into Apple Home, and that's how I've been using it for a lot of the time. It does also support RTSP, which means you can get the camera into Home Assistant. In terms of storage, the camera supports micro SD cards up to 512 gigabytes. If you've got a micro SD card in it, you can also use 24-hour recording and send it off to network attached storage. Alongside that, there's cloud storage via Apple Home if you're using that, but also through Aqara's Home Guardian. Now with this camera, you do get a 3-month subscription, but if you do want to buy the subscription to have that cloud storage all the time, it will cost you £4 a month if you've just got one camera, or for as many cameras as you like, it's £8 a month. You can make this cheaper by paying for the year, at which point it's £40 for one and £80 for as many cameras as you like. This is a really affordable subscription, although I don't think Apple users need it. The other thing to note with this subscription, however, is it does unlock some AI features in the Aqara app, which I'll talk about as we go through this review, so you can decide if they're the sort of thing you might use or not. But let's get on to installation and setup. So installing it is super easy because it can just be freestanding. Now I actually ceiling mount mine, and I just use a kind of standard camera shoe that's attached to my ceiling. That means I just screwed it on there and then plugged in the USB-C cable. Next you want to head into the Aqara app, hit the plus button, and it should just appear in the list as soon as the camera announces that it's ready to pair. If it doesn't, you can scan the QR code on the camera, or you can scroll down and find the camera itself. You then add it, give it a name, and assign it to a room. If, like me, you're ceiling mounting it, one of the really important settings is to flip the video, and that is in the camera settings. The other thing you want to do is go into the camera settings and add it to Apple Home as well. This whole process was seamless and I had absolutely no issues with it. This is probably helped by the fact that this camera does also now support 5 GHz Wi-Fi. So let's move on to using it, because that's what I've been doing for just over a month. So firstly, the camera quality both day and night is really good. Video looks clear, and the ability for it to follow animals or people that it spots around is a really nice feature. Now mine is largely used for keeping an eye on the cats when we're away, and so it does just work really well. Of course, it also has a security purpose as well. I found that the connection is stable and it hasn't gone offline at all. I also find that the video feed loads pretty quickly. That new 2.5K telephoto lens is probably one of the most interesting features. And that's because via the Aqara app, you can zoom in up to 9x. And once zoomed in, you can pan the camera around as well. And really, this is where ceiling mounting it like I have is a bit of a downside. And that's because you can't go lower than what you can see on screen, because the actual camera can't tilt any further. It catches everything I want it to when it's not zoomed in, but there's times when you're zoomed in where you might want to go down a bit more, and if you ceiling mount, you can't do that. That means if this is a feature you're going to use a lot, you're probably going to want to think more about freestand mounting it. The other feature I really like with this camera is the ability to toggle on and off the privacy mode. And in the Aqara app, you can set scenes that include this mode, and you can then expose that to Apple Home or Home Assistant, so you can trigger that privacy mode on or off in those individual apps. That means you can toggle it off based on when everyone has left your house, if everyone uses, say, Apple devices. Of course, the Aqara app does actually support its own geofencing, but being able to bring it into Apple Home if everyone's already an Apple Home user means no one has to download an extra app in order for that to work. And so basically I have an automation that means when the last person leaves the house, the camera comes on, and when the first person arrives, it goes off. It then also records overnight. I guess in theory, if like me, you've also got things like Aqara presence sensors, you could get it to start recording when there's no more presence detected. And because all of these devices can get exposed to Apple Home or Home Assistant or exist in the Aqara app, you can combine them all together in any automation you want in whatever your preferred platform for automations is. If we go back to the Aqara app, you'll find a ton of settings for this camera. That main screen lets you record, speak, turn on or off privacy, and tilt the camera. Alongside that, you can set cruise modes and also turn on things like person and animal tracking. All of these just work out the box with no subscription. If you want to speak through the camera, you can do this in the Aqara app as well, or through Apple Home. And as I said, it does work well, but it's not a feature I particularly use. In playback, you can browse through previous clips and filter them as well. Now, the search and AI tabs do require subscriptions for some functionality. That includes if you want things like video summaries. Things like person, motion, face and animal detection, however, are included out of the box with no subscription. Now, I do actually prefer using these in Apple Home over the Aqara app, especially when it comes to face recognition, because in the Apple Home app, it can be exposed to your photos on your phone. That means if you've named your people properly in your photos, it can recognize people and tell you that straight away. Otherwise, in the Aqara app, you have to add faces yourself. The other features you can use are things like smile detection and gesture detection. One of the other really useful features is AI sound detection, which is also included for free. You get notifications for things like alarms, babies crying, dogs, coughs, snoring and loud sounds, and you can choose which of those you get notifications for. If you dive into 3 dots at the top of the camera screen, you get even more settings. I won't go into every single one, but I'll talk about the most useful. So for Home Assistant users, the RTSP LAN settings let you add the camera into Home Assistant. This does work well. It's also here you do things like toggle default position and power off memory for this camera. In video settings, you can tweak things to do with timestamps, logos, and screen flipping as well. In notifications, you can choose exactly what you get notifications for. Now, I prefer to keep most of my notifications in Apple Home, so the only thing I have on here is the noise detection. Here, you can also manage things like cloud event video and the option to use network attached storage for video as well. And there are loads and loads of settings here, and Aqara are always adding to these as well, especially with new AI features. However, as I said in my review for the new G400 video doorbell, I do feel like more of these new features are becoming features that you need a subscription for. And so if you want those features, you're going to need to think about whether you want to spend an extra £40 a year or £80 a year if you've got more than one camera. However, for Apple Home users, I'm not sure you really need it. And actually, in using Aqara's cameras for several years now, not once have I thought I actually want the subscription. And this does lead us nicely to talk about downsides. And the first one is that some of the more advanced AI features are behind a paywall. And I do understand that because hosting AI services is expensive, but it's a shame to see things behind a paywall. The second thing I found is that if you're toggling in and out of privacy mode, even if you've got position memory set, the camera doesn't always come out of privacy mode where it left off. In my case, it seemed to come out of privacy mode and face the wall, which wasn't very useful. Now, I'm guessing this will be fixed with firmware in time, but for now my fix has simply been to set up an automation in the Aqara app that says when the camera turns on, set it to this position. That's just something to flag if you're finding the same issue. And the third downside is that I do think it is probably a little bit pricey. But that's it. What's the verdict? And all in all, this camera is a nice upgrade from the previous G3. It's got higher quality video, it's got a new lens for zooming in, and of course it's got matter support as well. And this matter support does really future-proof it, and I think over the next year we're going to see more and more cameras become matter compatible. For Apple users, however, until Apple lets us have something higher than 1080p video in Apple Home, I don't think it's worth the upgrade from the G3. However, if you are looking for a new indoor camera and you're considering this or the G3, this is the better one to pick up because it really is going to future-proof you. If you do want to pick one up, I'll put a link below. That will go to Amazon in whichever country you're in. That's an affiliate link, so using that link will give me a very small cut of anything you spend at no cost to yourself. That just helps this channel out, and I do really appreciate it when people click those links. If you've got any questions, stick them below and I'll answer those for you. I do really enjoy reading your comments and answering questions and helping you out when I can. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more reviews when they come out, and I'll see you guys again soon.